That event, of course, expected later on in the day. Of course, just a few minutes ago, having witnessed a press conference by, the leading light in NASA, that of course is Raila Odinga, putting out his perspective on just what is going on in the political arena. And, well, a lot more of that expected to come this afternoon as various political stakeholders do continue to bring in their various perspectives. Well, as ever, we are starting, of course, on Twitter, and today we are asking you to talk to us. We are asking the Twitter question: what is driving the economic resilience here in the Kenyan economy ahead of the election? Again, we are asking, what is driving the political resilience here in Kenya ahead of the election? Is it A, political will, B, economic exuberance, or C, speculation, or D, proper policy? Of course, reach out to us. The hashtag is business today. We shall, of course, be able to bring you, what exactly that conversation will be later on. Reach out to me directly on @PeterKabau using the Twitter handle @KTN News. Later on in the show, also to speak into that and, of course, other aspects of the Kenyan economy, including the recently hosted Under-18 World Championships here in Nairobi, and what that impact was to the Kenyan economy. A guest with me in the studio. I'll let you take a quick look. He is from the he is from the Sarova Pan-Africa, of course, part of the Sarova group of hotels, a general manager himself, here to lend us his insight into some of what is driving that resilience that we just talked about. That gentleman, of course, later on in the show. Well, we start off in the field of floriculture, and one of the companies that has recently made a major investment and is driving the resilience that we are talking about here today is Primrose, a company that is a major investor in the horticulture industry. Its director, Bobby Kamani, expressed optimism that the looming election will just be a passing cloud and that the sun will indeed begin to shine on the Kenyan economy once that is complete. Take a listen.
The way I see it is I've always been an optimist, and I hope and pray that, we have fair and peaceful elections. And I'm sure that, going forward, if everything goes smoothly, I'm sure none of the industries across the country will be affected. If there is going to be unrest, it might affect the delivery or the logistics of flowers. But by and large, I don't think an election is going to greatly affect the way flowers are being delivered across the world.
Well, in the same breath of what, of course, we are talking about here today, East Africa Breweries has earlier today also expressed optimism that it will continue to invest and indeed is looking long-term into investing in this economy and is not being, looking short-term, of course, having recently announced a 15 billion shilling investment here in Kenya. That, of course, is one of the stories that is speaking into that resilience and one that we'll be bringing you shortly. But away from that, now we want to bring you a story about some, pampered bovines in Nyeri County. These, of course, are cows that are seeing a different kind of lifestyle, especially being, looked after because they are large producers. And that story, of course, bringing into perspective how one person in Nyeri is actually being able to bridge the conversation around politics and farming.
So like now they look
Nothing gives Njori Mohara a sense of calm than spending her time with her brood of cows that she has individually named. She even has a favorite, Venus, who was a gift from Njeri's mother. Venus is an Ayrshire breed that set the pace for her now expansive dairy farming. From just one cow, Njeri presently has 40 dairy cows. Her bovines are a pampered lot. They do sleep on special cow mattresses. An exuberant Njeri explains why she pampers her cows and ensures the highest standards of hygiene are maintained by her 7 permanent staff.
My cows sleep on mattresses because they're just like human beings. Actually, I tell people that dairy cows are like women. You have to pamper them when they're expectant. Yes, and then when they're being milked, because you want to soothe them, the manager has a small little radio. So, and that is when he plays music to them. And you actually can see they are quiet when the machine is running, the milking machine is running. Like now they have already been milked. So, and they get, like, they are concentrating. They are concentrating on the music. They are quiet.
She says milk is white gold, and from it she practices value addition by processing probiotic yogurt under the brand name Cool Fresh.
The milk I actually don't sell as raw milk. I add value in terms of yogurt. I produce yogurts, and my yogurt is basically different. It's not the usual yogurt because it's called probiotic yogurt. No one else in Kenya does probiotic yogurt. The brand name is Cool Fresh. Probiotic means it's actually the opposite of antibiotics. So that when we take antibiotics because we are sick, it kills the good and the bad bacteria. So probiotics replenishes those good bacteria that we require in our intestinal system or in our digestive system.
The milk is refrigerated in this cooler that she purchased to ensure that the highest quality standards are maintained. Nyeri Njori Mohara is an avid farmer who is often sought after by other farmers who want to emulate her. They visit her farm to learn a thing or two about modern farming practices.
Hiyo dairy ni mzuri, hata nikiwa bored, nikiwa nimekasirishwa na mtu kama Karo kinikasirisha, huenda kwa ng'ombe na waongeresha, tunaongea, nasikia vizuri. Kwa hivyo hiyo iko pia therapeutic, ni kama therapy.
She has other feathers on her cape. She's the only female running mate chosen by a gubernatorial candidate in Nyeri. She will be vying alongside Nyeri's gubernatorial candidate Patrick Monene Cairo, who hopes to clinch the seat on a DP ticket. Having grown up in Tetu Nyeri and now married in Mathera, still in Nyeri, she feels that Nyeri can be restored to its former glory.
Felt very sad when you read in the papers and you told that Nyeri has lagged behind in development for the second year running. It has been county number 47 there last year. Now this year it's been 47 again. We are given enough money to do developmental work by the national government. Unfortunately, there is no planning. There's no planning of that money. You use only 650,000 surely for 6 months. And then the rest of the money is taken back. So when they give us more money again, probably they now think we will not be able. So that has made me feel very sad. Actually, it's a very sad affair. Nyeri Mohara, yeah, like you said, is an entrepreneur. Actually, a serial entrepreneur because I told you I also do macadamia and I'm doing dairy. And there's also somewhere I'm doing horticulture. I'll take you somewhere and do horticulture. So, yeah, that is Nyeri Mohara.
The mother of two says with proper governance, Nyeri can attain even higher heights. With her experience in professional farming and entrepreneurship, Nyeri Njori Mohara feels that she can bring the wind of change and good tidings to county number 19. Carol Nderi, KT News, Nyeri County.
Well, on that note, right, of course, the fact that the lady in that story, Nyeri Njoro, is an entrepreneur who has made it big in business and farming and is now running for politics. But what does it take to grow such farmers? Well, Nyeri County is actually hosting a large trade fair for farmers to learn these and other skills. This, of course, is at the Wambogo farm in Nyeri. And my colleague, well, Carol Nderi, is at that event currently and has been out and about in order to tell us what exactly is going on. Now, Carol, a lot of people would crack jokes about farmers and exactly what they do, but agriculture is indeed the backbone of the Kenyan economy. What exactly is the conversation that is going on there today at Wambogo farm?
Good afternoon, Wakaba. You're right, we're at the Wambogo Farm Agricultural Research Center, and indeed agriculture is the epicenter of the economy, not just here in central Kenya, but Kenya at large. And so many farmers are here today. This time around, they're expecting about 30,000 farmers, up from 27,000 farmers that attended this event last year. This is the 17th year that they are holding the agricultural field days. A two-day event started today. It will wind up tomorrow. So more farmers are still coming to learn about the best practices as far as farming goes. And all spheres of farming, Wakaba, are represented here. We are talking about crop farming, animal husbandry, just as you have seen in Nyeri, Njori Mohara. They are one of the farmers in Nyeri County, ensuring that the best practices are maintained so as to give maximum profits to the farmer and to ensure the food security is something that is realized. Talking about horticulture, fish farming, fish cultivation or fish keeping, so to speak, because this also helps in food security, not just sticking to the conventional or traditional methods of growing food. Just all these spheres are represented here today at the Wambogo Farm Agricultural Field, or rather Research Center. And I think our cameraman Samson Dege can just pan to show you the multitude of farmers that are here from across, not just central Kenya. They've come from very far. We understand some have also arrived from outside the country, as well as showing you some of the crops that are here that the farmers can come and learn about how to ensure that their crops look like these ones that are here at the Wambogo Farm. Just showing you what is happening. So many people, even students, are here from different high schools and colleges to come and learn about the best practices, because agriculture, Wakaba, as you have said, is the backbone of the economy as a country. Just recently, there was sadness when milk prices went up. Potatoes, there were no potatoes, and those that were there, the prices were really ridiculous. Guys couldn't eat the fries they were looking for or add potatoes in their meals. So how to ensure that food security is attained? Perhaps to just tell us more about this, we are joined by the executive in charge of agriculture, Nyeri County, Robert Thuo, in as much as he's exiting because, well, a new government will be formed after the August 8th elections. But he says he has done the best for the docket. That is agriculture. Perhaps if we could hear from him about what is new this time, what should the farmers expect that they didn't see last time during the field day. Thank you very much, Bwana Waziri.
Carol, thank you. Some of the new things that our farmers will see is conservation agriculture, because for a long time we have been cultivating land and planting the same crops, but now there are new technologies in place on how to do what we call conservation agriculture with minimal disturbance on the soil, and the right way of actually cultivating and how to conserve moisture.
All right. There are also new crop varieties. Could you tell us about that so that the farmers could hear you, even those who are not here at the research center?
We have new varieties of crops that are being in display, and we have tomatoes like Taifa 1, which have not been in the market. We have Sukuma Siku, which has not been there in the market. We have new maize varieties that have been raised, which are tolerant or which are able to escape diseases like the maize lethal necrosis disease, which has been very tricky in the country. The other very important thing is we have measures of containing the fall armworm pest that has been a big threat in the entire country. As you can see, we have a very good maize crop which is free from the pest. So what we are telling farmers is this one is also doable. Okay,
I've heard you mention Sukuma Siku. What is Sukuma Siku? Because we all know Sukuma Wiki, but not Sukuma Siku. Could you expound on that kindly?
This one is called an English spinach. It's a new release, and one of the big attributes to it, it's very high in iron. Iron is very important in the body, and especially for ladies. So we are encouraging our people to diversify. Actually, the key thing here is to try and grow something that can actually add value to your life.
My colleague Wakaba just said that there's a perception maybe that agriculture is for a certain type of people, maybe the old guys or watu mashambani. But I've seen very young people here as well, very interested in learning about the best practices. Like a lady I spoke to, she's a lecturer at Dedan Kimathi University, but she's also practicing farming as a side hustle. She grows garlic, and she says that is what is helping her pay her school fees. I think we'll highlight her in our story later on. Just tell us about the different people, especially the young ones. What would your message be to them as far as farming goes?
As a policy, the county government wants to integrate every level in life, and what we are deliberately targeting the youth in as much as farming is concerned. And the entry of the youth basically is to get into a produce or an enterprise that has not been gotten into by the others. Of course, now like the garlic farming, it's a bit intensive and it also requires some knowledge. We also have fish farming. We also have other areas in the respective value chains where youth can get in. For example, if it is yogurt making, our youth can penetrate into that and do it. If it is fish sausage making, we have got a facility in Wambagana where young people are being trained now, incubated.
Let's talk about fish. Wanasema watu wa eneo la kati hawakuli samaki, or they're not interested in fish. I think maybe that could be a fallacy, but it is not quite as popular. As a advocate, as a stakeholder in agriculture, as a Minister of Agriculture in Nyeri County, what are you doing to encourage more people to take an interest in fish keeping?
Thank you. We have revived Wamagana fish processing plant. Last week, but I signed an MOU with the cooperative, and we have injected 5 million in 2 tranches, that is 2.5 million, which is already in the bank. And what we have done is we have supported the cooperative. One of the things that we are doing is more fish eat campaign. And we are mainly targeting the ladies and the youth. They are being taught how to prepare fish. And actually that is also being exhibited here. So young people can penetrate and train other people also how to make fish. Besides filleting and gutting that we are doing in the processing plant in Wamagana, people can make sausages and also earn their livelihood.
Thank you, Bwana Waziri. Kindly, if you could let us just speak to Mwenyekiti, the chairman here, kindly introduce yourself and briefly tell us about what companies are exhibiting, which companies are here to exhibit, how many are they?
Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Sam Kimani. I'm the chairman of this forum. As of now, we have over 130 companies. We have even exceeded the number that we are targeting. So chances are by the end of the event, we may hit around 150 companies exhibiting here.
What are they showcasing, maybe, if you could tell us?
We have different companies that are showcasing agrochemical products, and also there are also companies that are exhibiting animal health products. We also have soil sampling companies which are assisting the farmers in analyzing their soils to know how the conditions of their soils and advising them on what fertilizers to use and what quantities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Over the years, of course, farming methods have changed. People are embracing technology. How perhaps our grandparents used to farm is not how people are farming now. Of course, there's an increase in yield. What are some of the things that you can say have changed over the years that are ensuring that there is more food now?
Yeah, we are embracing technologies. You know, those days we didn't used to have a lot of challenges, like in terms of the soils were not as depleted as they are today. Also, we didn't have challenges like pests and diseases as we are having today, but it is good that companies are coming up with different technologies that are helping them to come up with seeds that are tolerant or resistant to some diseases. There before you talk of the companies today, as I said, are helping to come up with those technologies and
teach farmers. Thank you very much. Teach farmers about better practices to ensure that food security is quite actually a very important thing. As we had just talked about the drought that Kenyans faced just recently. Yes, the weather might have changed now, but they're saying that climate change is real. Global warming is quite a real phenomenon. So it is up to the stakeholders to go back to the drawing board and ensure that some of these challenges are done away with. As we have said, we're at the Wambogo Farm Agricultural Research Center. Before we wind up, Samson Dege, our cameraman, can just pan and show you the multitude of farmers and different stakeholders who are here at the research center, and the very healthy crops, the luscious crops. I'm actually just next to some tomatoes here. Could show you their labels also on each patch, educating the farmer about what to do. Well, Wakaba, that is it from our end here. We'll inform the viewer about what is transpiring here for today and tomorrow during the annual field day. This is the 17th year that is happening. Thank you very much, Wakaba. Back to you.
Well,